So, what we'll be talking about right now is, circumspect living, okay? Making marriage decisions that you will not regret. This is difficult, right? There are times where you get really, really emotional in marriage, and it might be something that has honestly really hurt you, and you want to express yourself, like you want to let the entire world know what you have been through and all of that. And times like this, we allow our emotions to control us, such that we begin to say things that we should never ever say. Now, I used to say this to people most times. I say, look, you see, words chosen poorly are like folded fists in, metal glove. There's nothing you can do, to remove it completely, right? And so we want to be very careful. And this is what we'll be talking. Just like me, I have been learning. And I do know that one of the biggest problems that young people have is, having people who can help them, like counseling, especially in this part of the world where we don't have proper counseling. All we do have is, I don't know, not we don't have professionals, like we don't really have professionals who counsel. I hear that more professionals are coming up in Lagos right now, and even in Abuja as well, but that is one thing that we need. So I am saying this, that a lot of people have regretted what they did in their marriage, and that's why you see that maybe I don't know, second marriages even tend to work even more than the first marriages. The reason is because they get to learn from their past mistakes, okay? And so we will be talking about circumspect living, okay? Making marriage, decisions that you will not regret, that has everything to do with our emotions as women. Okay, so that's what we'll be talking about right now. Now, remember when I started talking, I told you there are decisions we make in marriage that feel small in the moment, okay? Maybe it's working out during an argument. Maybe it's choosing silence, over communication. Maybe it's replying a message you shouldn't, okay? You shouldn't have. At the time, okay, it doesn't feel like much, just a reaction, just a mood, just one moment, okay? But later, sometimes much later, we look back and think, why didn't I stop and think? Why didn't I handle this differently, okay? Now, regret has a funny way of sneaking in. It doesn't always show up as a dramatic scene, okay? Sometimes it's just a quiet sadness, a deep, knowing that if you had paused, just paused, okay, you might not be sitting in the brokenness that you are feeling right now. So this is what circumspect living is all about, okay? Thinking, being able to think long term, being careful with your word, your actions, your decisions, not because you are afraid, but because you value the future of your marriage more than the emotion of the moment. Now, you see, so many marriages didn't fail, okay, because of storms. They fail because of how people reacted in the storm. The shouting, the quarreling, the hitting down, the sacred, the stubbornness, the pride in the heart of emotion. Someone forgot that this was their forever person, and one bad decision made without thinking changed everything. Now, welcome back to Hugs and Medleys, where we talk about the real things of life, no filter, no pretending. And if you're seeing me for the first time, I'm Dr. Anosong, okay? A wife, a mother, and someone who has walked through the fire. And I have learned how to hold into love with wisdom, not just feelings. In this space, we grow together, okay? And today we are going deep into what it means to live with foresight in your marriage, to make decisions you won't regret. Now, marriage will test you. There will be days when you'll be disappointed. when you are misunderstood, when your spouse doesn't meet your need the way you hoped, and in those moments your reaction becomes everything, because those are the moments that define the tone of your relationship. Those are the moments that either build trust or slowly tear it down. Okay? Now, living circumspectly means asking yourself in those moments, okay, what story do I want to tell later? Do I want to say I let anger speak for me? That I let my silence punish them for this? That I flirted with temptation because I was feeling lonely or bitter? Or do I want to be able to say, even though I was hurt, I chose to pause? I chose to think. I chose not to let a bad moment become a lifetime consequence. Yeah, what do you want to say? I want you to think about this. How many people today are living with regret, not because they stopped loving their spouse, but because they acted out of pain? People who left their homes, people who cheated, people who use words that scared their partner's heart permanently, and now they are sitting in the aftermath of decisions they made in just 5 minutes of unchecked emotion. This is why you must check your emotion. This is why we need to slow down. Circumspect living is not weakness, it's wisdom. It means you are not led by your emotions alone. You consider the weight of your choices. You think before you speak. You look beyond today and ask, will this bless my home or break it? Now, sometimes we think, oh, I will fix it later, but not everything is easy to fix. What's broken in anger can replay in your partner's mind for years. Actions you call mistakes can break the very foundation of trust. Don't wait to lose peace before you learn to protect it. Now, let's get practical. Let's talk about the real tools you can start using today to live more intentional in your marriage. Okay? Now, the first thing I want you to do is to create space between your feelings and your emotion. That space is where wisdom enters. When you are upset, take a breath, walk into another room. Say to yourself, I am not going to let this emotion speak for me. I am going to let wisdom speak. You don't have to respond in the moment. Let things cool before you react. Number 2, okay, you ask yourself this simple question. What is the long-term effect of what I am about to do now? Will I be proud of this choice tomorrow? Will this draw us closer or push us apart? That question alone has saved so many homes. Number 3, keep your heart clean. Offense is part of marriage, but don't let offense become a stronghold. Learn to forgive quickly. You might really be bitter, okay? A clean heart leads to a peaceful marriage, and a peaceful marriage gives room for growth. You might be so hurt, but learn to forgive. Another important one, when tempted, don't entertain it. The text message, the casual friendship with someone outside your marriage, the fantasy in your mind, it may look harmless at first, but temptation grows where attention goes. Shut the door early. That's circumspect living. Don't leave your marriage vulnerable to mistakes you could have, prevented. And the last point I'd like to give to you is to pray for wisdom daily. This may sound simple, but it's powerful. Ask God to help you make decisions with clarity, to help you hold your tongue when necessary, to help you be gentle, even when you don't feel like it. That's a kind of calm that only God can give you as a woman. Because sometimes we get really, really hard. Just want to show am say I be woman. Let me tell you something. You may not be able to control what your spouse does, but you can control how you show up. You can be the one who protects the atmosphere of your home. You can be the one who thinks long term, who acts out of love, not ego. That's not weakness, that's spiritual strength. I know sometimes it feels like you are the only one trying, but don't let the effort of the moment blind you from the bigger picture. Love that lasts is built by people who think before they react, people who speak life even when it's hard, people who protect their home with wisdom, not pride. You know, I want to say something. I had a counseling the other time. This woman, this lady, and I have to let you understand that it's only, when given permission that I use the stories, okay? And of course, names will not be mentioned. She graduated from school around 9 years ago. And while she was in school, she was in a relationship with one man. She loved the man so much. The man went for youth service and left her, and then forgot about her, never called her once, and that was it. And they had the most beautiful relationship back then in school. Now, after years, they had their reunion, okay, class reunion or something. She went and met this man there. At the time, that man had been married, had 2 children, the marriage packed up. So he was lonely, he was vulnerable. And then he decided that he now started acting as if he still liked this woman. And because the woman was having issues in her own marriage, she started feeling like this one could have been better. I think this is a video I will do all over again, but these are the kind of issues that would ruin your marriage forever, ruin your relationship forever, broke trust. Keep these kinds of relationship very far away from you, whether you are a man or you are a woman. We need to think before we act. We need to hold our relationships, jealously. We need to understand that it might not sound rosy if you want to go by the narrative in the public domain, but it is something that is beautiful. Just like, when we work so hard to build other facets of our lives, marriage is the same way. You have to put in the work. I don't know if this video has blessed you in any way. If it has, I hope so. I'd like you to subscribe. Please turn on the post notification bell. Could you please help me share? Share, please. I love you guys so much. And may God bless you. May God continue to keep your marriage. May God continue to keep your spouse. May you never ever labor in vain. Not for your children and not for your husband or anybody. You will be there to enjoy the fruit of your labor. Continue to love. Continue to believe in love no matter what. Okay? Thank you.